Hello, everyone. Are we live? I don't see us live yet. Ah, here we go. Yeah. Okay. Bye, Joey. What's up, everyone? It's just me. It's the Artist Coaching Podcast with just Jay Hardway. Um, it's how it goes sometimes. Yeah, Joey isn't here. He is traveling today, and Ralph forgot the time. I think he's here later. So it's just gonna be me for half an hour. So I really, really need your help to fill this half hour. I guess. So let's in the chat just make something happen or something. I see Atalo is there, Lion Harris, melodramatic, obviously. Amazing guys. Gerald Francis. Hope you're all doing well. I'm doing well. My camera's a bit shaky. See that? Hmm. But yeah, it's the Artist Coaching Podcast, and I was preparing to talk to Ralph and see what he's doing. But that doesn't really work. So maybe let's talk about being an artist. No, just I want to talk about the retreat. Um, in case you didn't know, in case you're listening, watching, we're hosting a artist coaching retreat in the Netherlands, and we oh, let me see. Joey's asking for something. We're hosting an artist coaching retreat in the Netherlands. And what that means is I'm going to be there. Ralph's going to be there from Base Checkers. Joey's going to be there. It's going to be A&Rs from big labels. And we're going to do 2 days in the studio. And we're going to talk about your career, about our career. We're going to listen to your music. We're going to have a full breakdown of your career, and you can still join. There are still some open spots. It's from the 7th to the 9th of May, and I'm very excited about it. It's one of those things where I wish I had an opportunity like that when I was a smaller artist. Only thing is there's some cost to it, but obviously we need to make the cost back. But it includes a hotel, it includes food, it includes everything. And Yeah, so just check it out. Check out artistcoaching.nl, and you'll find more info there. Atalo, I can find the questions under the podcast questions. Thank you very much, Atalo. I do know that. I always also check the questions there and read with when Joey's reading them out loud. You may have not noticed that, but Ben Singh is here. What's up? I'm good. How are you, Ben Singh? And Bit3 Music, yes. Well, thanks all first for being here. And yes, I got 11 unreleased tracks lying around, which will be dropping on Friday. Friday is when the YouTube video of my live set goes live. I recorded it in a warehouse, and I am super excited about all the new music. I'm very curious about the reactions and how they will be, and if there's like some industry reactions, maybe some labels that are going to be interesting. So yeah, make sure to tune in on Friday on YouTube, and it's a 45-minute live set of me. And Yeah, Brian in Andrade Music is here. What's up? Voltage 5078. What's up? The Nuller. Welcome back. Always good to see you. The Jess K. What's up? Um, Gerard Francis asked if I'm dropping 11 tracks in one day. No, I'm not, but I'm showing them all in a live set. So the tracks will be in the live set on YouTube and later also on SoundCloud. So that's very exciting. I'm very excited. So what's up, 12th Des? Good to see you. Um, yeah, yes. Melodramatic says we need 30 minutes of Jopke Schills. Cheers. Mm. that is what I wasn't planning on, because I was like, I'm gonna talk to Ralph, and if you talk to someone, you can always find something to talk about. Um, so if you have anything else for me to talk about, I could dive right into the questions, but I think then we're gonna run out of time. So maybe if the chat can throw me up some like issues or some things in the EDM world that they're happy about or not happy about or curious about, or any any other questions, then I can postpone the going to the I'm gonna fix my camera as well. Postpone going to the questions, because I don't want to like be running out of time too much. And now I fixed my camera is now a bit more stable. So that's the stuff right now. Lion Harris. Oh, that's a good one. Are we hyped for Ultra? Is what he asks. Well, I am hyped for Ultra. It's next week, I think. Yes, March. 2 weeks, 1.5 week. So yeah, in 10 days we'll be live. We'll be seeing the live sets of Ultra, and it's always a kind of a Kickstarter of the festival season and the EDM dance music industry showcase. So I always enjoy the sets. I'm always curious about who's gonna play what. Are they gonna play their own music, original music, new artists or hyped artists? Are they gonna actually deliver there? That's always very um, I think very interesting to see. I think Ultra is one of the Kickstarter, and it's always such an amazing live stream. Actually, there's a fun story. I have a track called Electric Elephants, and how I came up with that was I was looking at the video of the Hardwell live set in 2013 on Ultra, and I was like inspired. Apparently, there was such a great set as well, one of the classic Ultra sets. And I was like, hey, what would fit in this set? What would the crowd react to? And I started the melody of Electric Elephants, and I finished it that day. And the next day or that following weekend, I played in Belgium and played it out for the first time. I think that set is still online as well. So that's, I think, awesome. That's what Ultra does. It really, the coverage is good also because the location is so nice, and it really takes you into that festival. I don't know. It really takes you in there and shows you how it is. And yeah, it looks good. Um, Melodramatic is going to shill his latest release. It's out this Friday. Where can I send my demos to Jay for my sets? Well, DM me, man. Always possible to send me a DM on Instagram. I try to check all demos I get, and I have a track stack on my website. So you go to my website jhartway.com. There's a button that says demo drop, and you can drop demos there. So that's always awesome, I think. I see Atalo is considering to buy a TR-808 and a TR-909 for the real sound of those drums. Well, um, very expensive, I think, the real ones, the Rolands. Mm, but I mean, it is. I was just talking to Rainer, who's next door here, and he has a lot of gear, and it is fun, and you become a different kind of creative when you have all these buttons to push. So I mean, for the money, it's you can buy other cool stuff, I think, but it is fun to actually play around programming drums with buttons, and it gives a way more of a um way different feel, and you come up with different patterns, and yeah, it can surprise you how creative you can get. So Ben Singh, Tomorrowland Winter is this week, and we oh wow, I oddly enough haven't seen anything about that. March 28 to 28, March 21 to 28. Wow, okay, it's also Tomorrowland Winter, but I do think it's I mean, it's still an amazing festival, but I always get less. I see less coverage of it when I scroll online or so. Yeah, I mean, I always see less of it, but that doesn't mean it isn't a great festival. I would love to be part of it one day. Um, yeah, and it's just a really unique setting, and the way they fly the whole production in with helicopters and stuff is crazy, crazy. Yeah. Well, the chat's cooking. Chat's I like guys. Let's go. You guys honestly are saving my behind here because otherwise I'm just like melodramatics at shilling for um for too long. Um, haven't you been on the big ship there and got sent back? Wow, classic story about Ultra. One day I was hanging out with bass checkers. They were supposed to play Ultra, and they had an extra um, um, artist pass. So I was like, "Oh, I can join you guys," and they said, "Yeah, it's fine." And it was all arranged. So I got on the boat. It was all fine because you have to get to a boat to get to the backstage. Otherwise, you have to take have a taxi Uber nightmare. And I was on the boat and we were all there. It was all good. And then then I was refused, and I was said, yeah, your artist pass has already been taken. It was someone from the agency, and it was a miscommunication, and I wasn't allowed on. So, but at least I was on the boat. So that was cool, and I felt like a real artist, even though I wasn't playing. But other times I've been to Ultra backstage, and I do think it's such a the location is so cool. You're in the skyscrapers there. It's really cool. Um wow, we're cooking here, guys. We're a lot of questions in the chat. I thank you for being here. Um okay, Atala, we'll check your questions later. Um do you think Ultra will pull off another Colonel Sanders? I don't know. I don't know what that is. I know what Colonel Sanders is, but what's the main thing you use the Juno 60 for? This thing for show. I use it for show. It's you can see it here. I bought it thinking I was gonna do a lot with it, and I did use it in some tracks, and I sometimes plug it in, but I rarely do. I'm just it sounds weird, but I'm a bit yeah, I think I like this sound, but it's a very specific sound. So you really have to be looking for that sound to yeah, in order to that you use that. So yeah, not really using it that much, but it looks very cool, doesn't it? On the back there. Um Hope Ultra doesn't rain at Ultra. Yeah, I hope so too. Bittery music. Electric Elephant, definitely a classic. Victor Nova, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Appreciate it. Mm, Melodramatic, how you're liking track stack over label radar? Um, track stack feels a bit more quick, and you don't need credits to send anyone, or do you? I don't know. The thing is, I wish all the shit was free, man. I think you get and stuff is free, so like SoundCloud is free to send stuff, but you all these accounts and like just make it so that I have a easy inbox that's free and that is not my mail because mail is also business. So you don't want to get all these demos in there. Um, yeah, I would love free stuff. I always love free. I'm Dutch, so I love when stuff's free. Maybe that's a thing. What do you guys think? Should more stuff be free? Especially now that programming becomes easier, you know? Um, Lion says, "Where is Ralph?" Yeah, I know. He probably is gonna be here 2:30. So let's cross our fingers and see. Um, yeah. So Jared Francis says he loves some cool hardware as well. Yeah, I think if you can get your hands on something you can rent or like borrow from someone, that would be great. Because then you have like, let's say you borrow a synthesizer for a week or 2 weeks or a month, you're like so excited because you got this new thing you didn't spend a lot of money on. And then you're like, "Oh, I only have a month, so I'm gonna create, create, create." And then that actually that would, now that I think of it, I should call some friends who have a synthesizer and just borrow it. And I'm gonna do that. Thanks, guys, for helping me have this revelation. But I think that's a good tip. And synthesizers are expensive. Like this one, also since I bought it, it went up in value. Um, yeah, it's stupid expensive. But yeah, just make sure, if you, yeah, just don't buy, just rent, man. Just borrow. It's smarter. Let's see. We're busy here. I can't even keep up with all the chats. Thanks, guys. Ralph needs to wake the F up. Yes, like his track. Atalo, I know we have longer questions in Discord. I will get to that. Don't worry. Um, Danella, did I write the Electric Elephants melody very quickly, like in minutes? Yes, it was pretty quick. And then I had a version, and actually Martin Garrix said, change 3 notes, because I was had like the dun 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 dun, and then the second time also dun 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 dun, and then he said, "Why don't you do like dun 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 dun?" Dun?" So that little dun 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 is the work of Martin Garrix. That little change, which is actually also funny. And he never wanted any like writing credits for it. So that I still really appreciate that of him. Um, yeah, so that was cool. Let's see. Yeah, we're talking about Ultra still. Ben Singh was there in 2017. Um, Voltage 5078. Do you think sending DMs to artists over and over and they don't respond is smart idea? Well, as long as it's not weird messages and as long as you're just sending your music right away, I would not recommend asking, "Can I send you music?" I would just say, "Hey, here's some music for you to check out. Send the link. You know what? You have a next track the next month. Send it again." Um, it might never get read anyways. In the meantime, you try to get to the label or smaller artists. Eventually, good music will pop up with the right people, I think. Victor Nova is asking, do you have any advice for someone that can't seem to pick a music genre? I'm a believer there is good music in every genre. Yeah, I do have I believe the same thing. Good music is good music. I love making all sorts of stuff. Mm, I think it's a matter of realizing what you're good at. What are you the best at? Focus on that. Put a name to it. So like, hey, that's my artist project, whatever the name is. And then you want to make um, another song, another track. It's like make another alias, And I do that with some genres, and J Hardway's taking up most of my time because that's what I'm the best at. It's what I like the most. It was, yeah, kickstarted my career. But I still want to make other music, but I make sure that it has a goal. So I'm not just gonna randomly make music. I'm like, today I'm gonna make a track like that. Today I'm gonna make a track like that, and just tell yourself before you start making, like, hey, I want to make something like that, and it can be anything. But just don't get lost in the experimental phase. That's like, if or you have loads of time, but yeah, to get good at it, you want to stick to longer to different genres. Let's say, um, yeah, but have fun mostly. Like just create. It's what it's mostly about. It's creating and having fun with that, and what comes out of that. That's not really up to you, I guess. Um, I think every 12 Death says, I think every producer has at least one hardware now turned souvenir. Yep. Yeah, I agree. I think that's true. Uh, Mm. what is also funny, I have a DJ set, um, CDG J2000s and a mixer, and I hardly use it. I only when I prepare stuff, or but it's like I would have dreamt of that as a kid, and now I have it. I'm like, yeah, I can't be bothered turning it on. It's stupid. And it doesn't mean I'm not grateful for having it, but it's like it's with some things. Once you have it, it's like, oh, it becomes just a thing. It's just a tool. The real, yeah, the real difference. It's not gonna make the big difference. So that's a good tip. If you want to buy a DJ set, you don't need to buy the expensive stuff. It's you can just buy the other stuff like the USB mixers and stuff. Um, okay, Atala has a question here. What's the difference between in thinking between Afrojack and Martin Garrix when they make music, and how would you approach them now to work together? I have no idea. I don't know how their brains work. So every brain works differently. How would I approach them? I would send them a text or email. Here's my music. You want to work on something together? That's what I would ask if I have a track that I think would like really work. Um, yeah, but the difference between them, I don't know. They're both very talented producers. Did Joey ever get you the Robotron I sent you? No, I don't think so. Or did he? What's a Robotron? Then probably not, huh? If I have to ask that. Melodramatic asks. Um, Lion Harris, do I still know how much I paid for the Juno? You mean Juno 60? I think it was a just under 2,000 euros. Yeah, like 1,800 or something. So, yeah. Jared Francis, my track Amsterdam, did it take long? Yes, it took a long time. I was like, I remember I was asked to make the theme for the AMF festival, or AMF, because Amsterdam Music Festival is already festival in it. So otherwise it would be Amsterdam Music Festival for AMF. And I was like, okay. And then I just started, yeah, locking myself in the studio with trying to come up with ideas, found a good, cool melody, then came up with the whole structure and sounds. So yeah, it took quite long. Yeah, I still remember that track being a bit of a struggle, to be honest. Um, uh, Another those hardware souvenirs might be an opportunity we can lend this audio hardware to each other. Yes, I agree. That's a good one. That's yeah, within the community. I think it's if you can find someone that has something. If I know you and I trust you, I would also be able to lend that out for a week or two. That would be no problem. Um, so yeah, that's a good thing. But look around, ask friends. I even from an ex girlfriend once bought like for very cheap like two synthesizers he had, and it's cool because like they were like a Korg and some other thing which he bought back in the 80s or something, and then it's like they sounded like shit, but it was fun because I was experimenting and I was doing some stuff with it, and then it's just cool to press some buttons. Yeah. Have I heard of Meow Assist AI plugin? I have not, Victor Nova. I have not. Um, Averth asks, are there any advantages to physical synths sound-wise, or do they sound the same as digital equivalents? They definitely sound different. It's yeah, analog. There's actually sound like coming from that instrument. Let's say so. There's a difference. Every Roland Juno 60 sounds slightly different because heat or cold or one has been in a more moist place, so that there's those very subtle differences. But in general, I think there's a bit more warmth to the yeah, to the real ones. And I do think that has to do with all the imperfections, because the sine wave, for example, is going to be like slightly imperfect. And I think that's gonna, yeah, I think that's gonna be, yeah, always a bit warmer, I guess. So yeah, I do think there's a difference. But there's also effects you can put on that make it sound more warm if you have a digital synth. But like I said, I think the most benefit you have from it is that you can press actual buttons, and I can twist a button and change the filter. It's different than clicking a mouse. So yeah, that's what I think with analog over um, digital. Um, yeah. Atala, what about music theory? I'm taking every lesson and every book to learn because I want to make progressions like Avicii, Calvin Harris. Yeah, well, yeah, well, good. I think, yeah, if you think that's the right path, I think that's good. If you have some talent for hearing melodies, you can hear it. If you don't, you can learn from books, but it is difficult. But I would, Atalo, I see you a lot on questions. You're reading books, and I see you in the Discord. Really good. But I also suggest, man, you're thinking much about it. Sometimes just go and make, just do, just hey, just try stuff out. I really appreciate you analyzing stuff, but just be wary that it doesn't become over analyzing. So um and I see that's a big up to Melodramatic with a $100 donation. Great job holding the Artist Coaching podcast down, sir. Always love your improvisation and dedication to the industry. Appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate you always being here. It was really nice to meet you during ADE. And yeah, man, it's people like you what we are also really happy with. So doing this podcast and whatnot. So thank you as well. The Nuller says, I borrowed a Yamaha DX7 from a friend, and it indeed leads to new ideas. And I think that's good. It's the same with downloading a new plugin. You just yes, Serum sounds good, and I use a lot of Serum, but sometimes it's good to get triggered differently and here's some other presets, or a you download a plugin that sounds bad, but then there's a one preset that sounds so cool, no one else sounds like that, and I think that's what you should do. Can I share any older plugins I still use today? Not many though. I don't. I use less and less plugins. It's more and more sample based, and like I use a lot of Serum. I use Diva. I don't know. Is Diva old? Sometimes Silent One has good stuff. Synth Master 2 actually. It's an oldie, but old to me not. But I guess I'm old, so. um, yeah. Line Harris. How do I connect my Juno 60 to my PC and my DAW? Well, audio out of that thing, and then you play it live. I do have some kind of weird old MIDI converter, which I can connect to my MIDI out on my sound card and MIDI in. So then I can trigger MIDI notes on my Juno, but it's a lot. Yeah, it's a bit too much hassle, I think. Um, so yeah, I haven't really tried that out. I've tried it out, but not really made anything with it. Um, yeah. So that did I use Patcher in FL? I did not. Nope. 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 Not really. No. Did you, Atala? Did you? Here we go. Ben Singh feels like a really simple question, but to confirm, I'm trying to compress something. So, for example, it's It sucks for the kick, I think. Would you using a stock compressor or kickstart on the melody? Oh, so it ducks for the kick. Okay. Um, I mean, this is the thing. You're asking if you would use a stock compressor or kickstart. Usually a kickstart. Uh, you can use any kind of volume shaper. Basically, I think a compressor is basically shaping the volume. So when something kicks, it's more complex to use a compressor. I think you gotta kind of know the amount of time, the release time and the attack time. I think yeah, something like Kickstart is so easy because you can literally draw and you can see the kick, so you can see where should the rest come up. I think that's cool. I hope Ralph's gonna join soon. He should. He should. I think it's 2:30, and I wonder if how that shows up here. Huh? How that shows up here in the good old podcast software. Um, yeah. Um, have I messed with Icarus? No, I have not. Nope. Tajuske, how do I get my tracks signed by labels like Spinnin? Make them so very good that Spinnin, if they hear it, that they're like, we need that, and that is very hard. But I think in the very basics, that's what it comes down to. But mostly just try and get people to play your tracks. I think dance music is made to dance on. If you can get DJs to play your tracks, labels eventually want to sign them. And it's better to have 10 DJs already playing it so you can show like, hey, this track works, than nothing. So that's yeah. Um yeah, I think we have to go if I can find it. I need to find the uh hmm. This is where Joey normally where Joey, if you're listening, maybe you're not listening. I need to find the soundboard. Last time I remember having that on here, but I don't. So guys, we do not have a soundboard, which is a shame. Media. Ah, here we go. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for the
Community questions.
I hope that worked. But every week we answer questions that are asked on our Discord channel, the Artist Coaching Community. In the description, you can become part of our Artist Coaching Community. So do that. Ask your question in the podcast questions section, and we'll go over it on this very podcast, usually with also Joey Suki and Bass Jackers. Um, Ralph should be here soon, I think. We'll see. Okay, let's scroll up. I'm in the Discord, and there were not all the questions were answered last time, I think. So I'm just gonna go back to. Well, I'm just gonna start with the questions from today. I see Mikey Foden has a question. He says, I know it's been touched on a few times, but hoping this is a unique question about release strategies. How do you feel about the idea of releasing a track as a free download with a follow on Spotify gate, while also releasing a smaller edit on Spotify/streaming platforms as a way to help build growth? I think that's an amazing idea. And it's funny that I've thought about this lately too, because the streaming the streaming revenue isn't big, I think. It's also not big on exposure, because even if you get a lot of plays, or relatively a lot, not a lot of people check the name. So I have a gym playlist sometimes, and I'm like, oh, that's a cool track. I'm just working out. I don't care who it is. Which sounds harsh, but that's just reality. And sometimes there's a very good track, and I add it to my favorites, and then I know the artist. But I think the whole follow on Spotify, people are actively gonna, well, they're gonna want your track if they follow you, and they're gonna see, oh, that's cool, and then follow you on Spotify, which then helps your future release. So I think that's very smart. And I think in general, it's smart because I think, let's say back in the day, you would be, or we would be, scared to be like giving a track away because you lose revenue. But I think in this day and age, if a track doesn't get any editorials, you're not gonna have much revenue anyway. So it's, why not also release it for free? I think that's very smart. Um, Only thing is, I don't know how Spotify does this, because I cannot upload my own tracks to Spotify, because then it says, "Hey, that's ownership of Jay Hardway." And then I'm like sitting there, yes, I am Jay Hardway SoundCloud. It's me. So I don't know how that's gonna go, because the distributor uploads directly. But yeah, maybe there's a way to whitelist your own releases. I'm not sure. Also, talking about being banned, I am banned on TikTok. I'm like kind of shadow banned, um, which is weird. I well, I'll tell you in English, because it says in Dutch, but it says your account is restricted, and then the visibility is restricted, so it won't show up in many people's for you feeds and in the um, search bar, because of impersonation. So for some reason, and it's an automatic system, and I've tried to complain and didn't work, and I'm trying to get a hold of TikTok. I cannot. It's really difficult to find an actual person working there. um so it's funny, but I am shadow banned on TikTok because I'm impersonating Jay Hardway. I guess it doesn't really say who. But um yeah, so if you could go and follow me, J Hardway Official. That is my official channel. Now I'm trying to get verified. I have contacted TikTok in 3 different areas, but no one seems to know anyone that works there. No one does. Anyone actually work there? Is my question. Does anyone actually work at TikTok and Instagram? Because if you have an issue, that goes like outside of the regular issues, you're kind of screwed. But that's, just wanted to say that. Brian Andrade asks, I also got to drink some water. I'm talking a lot this hour. We're getting through it. I think it's going good. I don't know where Ralph is, but I'll text him to see if he's still coming. Um, Brian Andrade, hey guys, hope you're doing well. What do you think about this? Releasing singles, including extended mix together, or just a radio edit? Um, Good question. I think it's a really good question. I'm not sure myself how I feel about this, because I release radio edits on Spotify and all other platforms, and the extended goes only on Beatport. But I do think Spotify is made for, you want your track to be playlisted, and I do know what Spinnin has been doing with my old releases. They've also uploaded the extended mixes, and then just you don't really see them pop up in your newly released, because they set like the release date back. Um, but I think, yeah. So what I do is only the radio edit. But I'm thinking of a bit later also uploading the extended mix, because I do think for some audiences it's just great to hear the original mix, and I do still also think when I make an extended mix, that is how it's intended to be listened to, and the radio edit is usually kind of a cutback, and you cut back on the story. Um, so yeah, it's a personal thing, but for now, if I release a track, I want to like have the spotlight on the radio edit. on Spotify. Another question: which distributor would you recommend for self-release? There is actually a from Spotify, and there's like the recommended distributors. Uh, recommend distributors Spotify. Um, I don't know where I found this. Yeah, provide artist.spotify.com/providers. I don't know if everybody can see that because this is for Spotify for artists, but this is their like yeah, preferred distributors, and it's like a giant list. A giant list. There's like must be like 100 names in here. So many to choose from. DistroKid is one of them. And yeah, just compare a few of the big ones. I released through AWOL, which isn't on this list, weirdly enough, but I'm happy with them. And what I find most important with AWOL with my distributor is when I email them, I actually get a person that replies, and I think that is something. If you can find that in this day and age, it's worth paying an extra percentage for. Let's say, not that I charge that much, but that's just my tip. You want a person to talk to when shit hits the fan. Atalo working on a track album of 24 tracks in the style of Avicii and those kind of tracks. You only use FL native plugins and samples, no third party plugins. What synth plugin would you recommend? I do this to prove you just need a laptop headset and a DAW. I really learned to produce this way and be creative. So you're producing an album of 24 tracks with only using FL Studio native plugins and samples. Um, well, that's a challenge. I think that's a real challenge. I do think FL Studio has great plugins, but on the synthesizer side, I think it's not limited, but it's yeah, it limits your it limits. I think there's some limits there, but I think limits can be good. And I think Afrojack was kind of famous like 10, 15 or more years ago about his leads were just 3x oscillator, so 3x osc in FL Studio. He was just making his lead sounds with that, and that is yeah, the most basic oscillator plugin. So it can definitely be done. If I have favorites, not really. I haven't even. There's sometimes I go. I don't know if other FL Studio users have this. I go into FL Studio and I'm like, what are these plugins like in the list? I'm like, I don't know which plugins these are. And then I open one and I actually made a track that I released last year. It's an old track. It's my old style, I'd say. And but also have like 5 sounds from that plugin presets. But then the thing is, that's the only good presets in that plugin. So good luck with the challenge. I don't have any real favorites. For all of us, the question, people in the chat, we can talk about this. I haven't really touched on the chat much. Oh, we're going good. It's nice. Let's go. Um, yes. Do you think DJs mix harmonically, and how much do you really prepare with own mess ups, remakes, transitions, and edits? Yeah, you can mix harmonically, but you can't mix a whole set harmonically, or you can, but I think the more important stuff is how much energy does a track have and the right timing. More that matters more than harmonically. Um, and how much do they really prepare depends on the show. Some DJs prepare to the minute, and some DJs prepare like a map folder and then kind of go with it. So it's different every time. Voltage asks. Here we go. Voltage asks, I have some tracks that are ready for vocals and I'm willing to invest in a vocalist for one of the tracks, but really don't know which one. Since all my friends and people I asked told me the tracks are vocalist ready, I'm lost on that one. I'm really lost on that one. Also, is pitching an instrumental mix track without vocals to a label's a good idea, or pitching should be after everything's completed? Um, well, I don't really understand the issue because you're willing to invest in vocalists. You really don't know which one. Um, yeah, well, just try one and see how it goes. I think. And that comes to the second part of your question is like, is it good to pitch without a vocal? Well, not really, because if you feel like it needs a vocal, then the track isn't really ready. And then that's kind of a problem. You want to present to a label mostly like how far already along you see this idea. You want to be like, hey, you can't really explain to other people it's gonna sound like this. No, a lot of people, other people have to hear it. They don't hear what's in your head. So you want to finish the full track. You want to finish as far as you think it's done, and then pitch it to labels. And then the label can still add stuff, or you can still change it. But it's very important that you realize other people don't always hear what you hear in it. And I've had this problem where I was like, I made a loop and I was like, oh, that's enough to bring to the A&R meeting. And I just make 10 more loops. And the A&R would be like, let's say the A&R spinning would be like, didn't hear anything in it. But in my head, it was already like, I hear Ralph is here. Oh, let in. Let's go. Let's go. Hey!
Yay!
Can I take a break?
The one man show.
Dude, I've been talking nonstop for 47 minutes.
And how's that?
It um it feels good, man.
Yeah?
I might ask you guys to leave the podcast, but I don't know if it's good for
Oh,
the numbers. I don't know if it's good for the numbers though. Just my voice, my monotone voice.
I actually, I'll give you a compliment for once. Your voice
Hey,
isn't really monotone.
hey,
Hey, you can
Ralph,
put that in your pocket.
Ralph. I will say we got a donation of melodramatic. That's going on. I can order when we go out for dinner with artist coaching next time. I can order the bigger. I can order like the lobster or something for
Hey,
this
to be
episode.
honest, eh, I think you already had the more expensive, or was it Joey?
Mine was it was all about the same ish, I think.
I think somebody had like the tomahawk thing.
I didn't have. I had the beef Wellington, which I also thought was really fancy
Oh
for
yeah,
in a restaurant. It was really good actually.
it is fancy, fancy
Yep.
schmancy.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Hey, a community questions.
Yeah, we're in the community questions, man. Full on. I was just talking
Fire
to
away. Uh,
Voltage.
hey,
I
to
just
be
answered that.
honest, the vibe is nice without Joey. Yeah,
It's more chill, huh? It's more
it's more chill.
we're less coachy and more artisty.
You know, I always feel like he wants to put us in some corner or something. You know, he feels
I
like a manager,
Yeah,
like a suit.
online I always feel like he pushes us to be opposites, but then usually we realize we are have so much in common.
Hey, to be honest, yes.
Because
So, little
yeah.
vote. Who wants Joey back?
Hey, we're taking over this is a coup. We're taking over
Yeah,
the entire artist coaching. Let's go to the next question because the time.
it's running out.
Die Geile aus Hamburg.
Ah,
Do you have
yes.
some beginner DJ tips for me? I'm relatively good now in beat matching, but not really good in structuring and planning a DJ set and its energy curve for a 1 hour set. How would you
Oh, that's
approach
a
that?
good question.
I think it's a really good question because that that that's what will set you apart. If you can nail that part, like the beat matching, whatever, no one cares even if you don't beat match.
Yeah.
Only that one DJ in the room will be like to his friends, huh, it's off, it's off. and
Yeah,
I actually did this on holiday, and I caught
dude,
myself, and no one
I
cares.
we've been there.
No one
We've
cares,
been
but
there.
people care about the energy curve. Yeah, how do you get good at that? It's partly talent, I think. You have to feel the vibe in a room, then know your entire catalog, have your folder structured in a way that you can find it. It used to be really hard with CD folders, and before that, vinyl, of course. But that's, I think, mostly comes down to experience. I think experience
Definitely.
is the key there. It's just how
Experience in doing, but also listening. Whenever you listen to a set by somebody, like ask yourself, why do I really like this set?
yeah.
Is it the numbers that are being played, the tracks that are being played, or is it maybe the structure? Because anybody can play the same tracks as anybody, but
Yeah.
it's how you play them that makes the difference.
Yeah, and check the transitions. Like, how do they
Yeah.
transition? Because beat match is part one, and then how long are you gonna like mix them together? Are you gonna use the mid only, the vocal, or are you gonna loop it or not? And you'll be surprised if you listen to a lot of sets that are online. Like Chris Stassi is a good example of someone who secretly does a lot of loops, but you won't really notice it. You just like
I know.
going
There's
through
a
the whole
lot of
groove.
that.
Um,
There wasn't a thing like 10 years ago.
like that, you mean like
Like
that?
that, yeah, like looping in and looping out, and
Yeah. Yeah, especially not on the main stages. The main stage was like break, drop,
oh
and
man,
now
I
it's
hated it.
it's more sophisticated now and way more danceable, and you can just like kind of groove
And
around
also
and
better for the gym. I never liked the
not
that's
true,
just when
true.
when I'm pumping, it's like "Doo," and then all the energy's gone.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Gone.
It's
It's like a meme, but
it's sometimes you like grab the weight, you're about to bench, and then
yeah.
the break comes in like fuck, and you need to readjust because
These
it's like I'm not gonna.
nonsensical chords that they don't have anything to do with the rest of the track. Like what am I gonna do? Chords. Whatever, dude. No. Then you just out of that energy. No,
Yep,
you wanna stay in there and then
yep.
pump.
Just
Pump.
pump, man. The
Pump.
Midnight Search asked, "Hey Jay, please tell. Last week Joey said you can answer this." Midnight Search.
Oh yeah,
He
yeah,
sees
there
a
was
lot of
something.
music on Beatport, which is released via TuneCore or distro. Most
Oh
of
yeah,
them don't
yeah.
sound good.
We
So
don't
now
like it
usually,
when the label says distro kit. But you had a loophole around it.
my loophole is a different distributor
Yeah.
because
Which distributor?
I have a few AWOL. AWOL.
AWOL,
We
yeah,
we
but you
talked
don't
about
get
distributors.
accepted like always or something. They do curate like
They do curate who they let in.
yeah.
But I also gave a list that is on the provider directory on Spotify for artists, which is a huge list of suggested distributors, and it's that list has like 100 distributors on it. So I would check the ones where you can get the Beatport with your own label, because that's another thing on AWOL. I did have to like separately register Beatport, because Beatport is also curating. So Beatport takes on tracks but decides themselves what the genre is. So it's like otherwise anybody can be like, I upload a techno track, and then yeah, but Beatport decides, they hold that right, like to say, hey, this isn't techno. Like my tracks sometimes get put in big room, and sometimes even I have a track in techno, I have a track in hard dance, I think, because they decide. So and I think that's a good thing. I mean, then they curate their website. um
Yeah, but it's never because to be honest also when I'm on Beatport, I don't like the label saying distro kit for some
True.
reason. It's a little bit unfair, but it's hard for me to filter out the crap
Yeah.
because it's
Yeah.
all distro kit.
Yeah. Yeah, but I
And
also
whereas
think,
a label also curates tracks, then I know this label knows how to curate. They
yeah,
have a good A&R. I know if I go there, I'm getting some quality music.
it's like when a big DJ plays a song, if you were doubting about the song, you hear John Summit playing it, then you're kind of like, okay, must be good. So it's that part that really matters. It's the look. It's the
I
stamp of
was hoping you
approval.
were saying bass checkers playing the
If
track.
bass
It
checkers
must be
plays
good.
it, if bass checkers plays it, can go either way. You never really
Must
know.
be good.
Let's go to the next. We have a lot of not that many anymore. Atala, which USB sticks do you recommend for DJing? Any any
Any.
USB that's just USB. It doesn't matter at all, I think. And then Atalo, you have a lot of questions, man. Like I said before, what are your opinions about releasing 3D audio? I've heard Tiesto, Armin van Buuren, um, and they're releasing the track in 3D audio, Dolby Surround. I think this will be the norm, or is you're saying this will be the norm? Well, I always think it's a bit of a gimmick, the whole surround mixing of a track,
Yeah,
and
me too.
I don't see, but I might be a like
Well, it
non-early
can be
adapter.
cool sometimes, but
I
to
mean,
be
I
honest,
guess I just
stereo's
wonder
enough.
how it will be used. On a headphone, it's cool, but otherwise, how are you gonna listen to it? Maybe at a
Well, I
festival it
mean,
could
for
be
if you're
cool.
visiting an anima set, then could be cool. Mean with the visuals, woo, woo,
Yeah,
woo, everything's happening somewhere else, and but like good old school rave dudes like us,
just one
stereo's enough.
speaker, man. Mm,
Stereo's enough.
yeah, I think so too. And then for Ralph, what synth VSTs do you choose for sound design, making a sound from scratch that are native FL Studio? And which FL
Hmm.
plugins have the best presets for you?
Ooh, I actually don't know native, which is a native FL Studio.
Yeah,
I
we he,
sometimes use the three times OSC.
hey, I told that one before.
Yeah,
So now we all know it's not bullshit. Because he asked the question
it's not
before.
bullshit.
Atalo
Oh,
told me he's gonna do a album of 24 tracks, only native stuff in FL Studio.
oh, that's pretty cool.
So and I
Um,
told him about the 3x OSC and Afrojack, how he used this, made that used that
yeah,
to make his
well,
instruments.
we like external VSTs weren't like that easily obtainable back in the day.
True.
But now they are. Yeah, to be honest, I work mostly Serum and Nexus. Like
Yeah.
that's by far what I use most.
Yeah. Same. Yeah. Native FL is yeah.
I
Just
actually have
different.
no clue what the native and FL things
There's
are.
there's some, and sometimes you stumble upon one and you're like, that's in here, and it has some like cool little presets, but just a few,
Mm.
and then you go on. Ralph, did Bassjackers ever release music that was not released at the right time? And what were the most important steps for Bassjackers in the beginning years to develop after Mush Mush? So I guess timing
It's
wise, maybe some of the releases, how were some of them wrong?
sometimes a track isn't the thing that's like what's hot at the moment. I think us and Dyro we had Grid, which was a weird one. Actually, it didn't do so well in the beginning, but later on it was the track that everybody valued much. Um, we actually in that time we had some tracks and we called it Traus, Trance House, and it wasn't done a lot. I mean, Traus was more something we said, and we had these bass drops with like chords in the middle, and that's actually mush mush kind of sound. But yeah, it wasn't done that much, and then that's also a strength, but also it's hard to pioneer. And but yeah, for the rest, yeah, I have no clue which ones weren't timed well or not,
I
or
I
yeah,
I agree. It's hard to alpha theta. It's hard to alpha theta.
Alpha Theta. Well, you're losing me, man.
Pioneer is
Hmm.
now called Alpha Theta, and I was like, before in Rainer Studio, I'm like, it's such a shame. I love the Pioneer brand, and they're renaming it, and I don't know why. And I love the
And they
Pioneer
call it
logo.
Alpha Theta,
Yeah,
and they have a marketing department consisting out of monkey and a cow.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. But
Pioneer sounds really cool.
yeah, and it looks cool. The logo is still it's timeless. It's one of those timeless logos. But I guess we'll
Man, the
lose that. Hey, one
mysteries
more
of the
question
world.
just came in from Lion Harris. Did Ralph ever try the Avengers synth?
No,
Do you know it?
no.
He
Do you
says
know it?
if he I don't know it now, but he says if you like Nexus, it's Nexus but on steroids.
Boom. Yeah, I mean, Nexus is just so easy to use,
Yeah.
and if you like to work quick, then Nexus is like a really good tool. And
Yep.
also with the presets and then Splice, man, Serum also works like a charm. It's so easy to use nowadays.
Yeah,
Sometimes
yeah,
back in the
yeah, yeah.
day, I had to always hassle with uploading banks and keep them in separate folders. And poof,
Yeah.
it was like an administration by itself. But now it's like easy going.
Yeah, I remember like looking for a certain kick or something, and you had to go into 3,000 folders inside of folders inside of folders,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then,
yeah.
oh, that's not the right one. It was that other Vengeance pack, and then yeah, it was
Oh man,
different times.
Vengeance is the best, and I notice more and more people using it now a lot because I recognize the loops, but the loops are not numbered or categorized or whatever
Yeah,
on
true,
BPM, and
true.
you just go
House loop one, house loop
continuously,
two.
yeah.
Yeah,
But they
true.
sound like really cool.
This is a interesting thing because there's always think there's two parties in this thing that I'm about to say. So some parties say you should have one kick, one bass, kind of always the same sounds. And there's another that says
Mm.
every track you should start fresh, new kick,
Oh no,
new
I'm
everything.
definitely also not there, but never use the same kick and bass. They will not sound in every key the same. And don't do every track in the same key. That's really nice if you want to mix your own tracks, but it's
It's gonna be
fucking
boring.
boring, man.
It's gonna be boring as
Yeah.
hell. Yeah.
And every kick, every especially the lows, they have these separate characters on a different key. And
Yep.
it's I mean, that's right now, that's the hardest part to get that sub right, that
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
whoop, that's where the magic happens.
Yeah, because I was thinking about this because used to have a good track and then you would like save that as a whole preset and you were like, "Oh, now I have a good melody. I just throw it in there." And then you're like, "This doesn't work at all. The
Mm,
energy is totally out of it."
no,
Yeah, which
choice
is
of
curious.
sound is also really important.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And that's
Hey,
also just the tip to conclude the episode with, I think.
that's how the cookie crumbles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything to shill, Ralph? Is what I'm
No, it's
supposed
not
to ask
my time to
for
chill. I
the
actually
script.
thought there was no show today, so I was a no show today.
Yep. But
And
you made it eventually.
yeah, eventually, yeah, man, I had to go at 2, and then I rushed back. But no, it's your time to shine, my brother.
I already did a lot of shilling in the
Yeah,
first 20
like only
minutes.
shilling. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was like, this is my time. Let's go.
uh,
Subscribe to my platform, buy my merch.
Jay
No.
Hardway, the real artist coach, real artist coaching.
Exactly. You want some real coaching? Buy my course right now.
Yes, I'm the most successful person
Mm.
in music
But I'm
ever.
still selling you my course for
Buy
5
my
bucks.
my course. Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, classic.
Yeah.
Thank you to everybody in the chat. That yeah, that has been here and has been saving my ass with all the questions in the beginning
What?
because I didn't have
Tell me
anything
about.
to
Did
talk
you
about.
start with community questions?
No, I
Oh,
kept
you
them till
first
the
started
half
like
hour.
really talking.
Yeah, but I was like, the chat really helped me because I was like,
Oh,
please tell me stuff to talk about, and then they just
that's actually
came with a
nice.
lot of fire.
Yeah.
So I really thank everybody in the chat for
Maybe we
sticking
should
around.
invite some of the listeners from time to time.
Would be cool. I think
Yeah.
there's some listeners that are there so much we can maybe find a way. We asked Joey, like, hey, can we have them in the episode for 5 minutes and ask an actual face to face,
Or
face
the
to
whole
screen.
just lose Joey and fill him up with the homies.
I like that. I like that idea. Um, Anything else? No, I don't think so. I think the retreat I already mentioned, 7 to 9 May. There's still some spots. If you really want to get going with your career and meet us in the flesh, um,
That
yeah,
sounds weird,
join us.
man.
That's how you say
Meet
it in
us in the
English.
flesh. Yeah, you say it like that, but still, it sounds.
It's a weird saying.
If you
And
translate it to Dutch, then it's really weird. Meet me, ontmoet me in het vlees. Ah,
Dutch is a weird language, man.
that is
I
a
will
weird
say that.
language.
Okay, we're gonna wrap up. Thank you everybody for joining. See you next week. We're gonna be all there hopefully, and bye.